Thump. Let's start a new mega sketchbook for 2019. G'day art adventurers. If you saw my Black Friday mega haul video, you would have seen this big boy that doesn't actually quite fit on camera at the moment. It is my huge Art Alternatives, I think it is, mega sketchbook, and I'm gonna crack it open and start it for the year. So first thing first, I'm a lefty, so with most of my sketchbooks these days, I spin it upside down and then open it backwards so that it's way easier for me to use. And then there's a couple of just general blankish sort of pages to get over the fear of using the first official page. I'm just gonna jump ahead to here, and I've been giving it some thought as to what I want to start off with in this sketchbook. I want it to be a place for me to develop a new or looser art style, and I thought a great way to do that is by doing some animals. Maybe I'll branch into plants, flowers, and anatomy practice as well, but to start, I'm gonna begin with animals. Start by using Werther's Shorty mechanical pencil and just a couple of erasers. This pencil is one of my new favorites that I found during 2018. I bought it during the Black Friday sales, and this Werther's Shorty pencil is just a dream to sketch with. It's so light, it feels like you're sketching almost with air. It just weighs nothing. And the large lead, I think it's 2 millimeters wide, or the large graphite, is so great for keeping your sketches loose and free and not putting in too much detail. But still, you can get some pretty fine effects if you want to go for that. Although so far I've only drawn on a fairly large scale. This sketchbook is like 11 by 12 inches or something like that. I mentioned it before. So I think it's just perfect for doing loose, quick sketches. And as you can see here, I have sketched out an aardvark. I didn't know which animal to start with, so I decided to let Google do the thinking for me. And I just Googled animals starting with A, and aardvark was the first one. And in fact, I'll just keep doing that throughout the whole alphabet, I think. And then I'll decide whether or not to continue with animals or switch to something else. To give it a little bit more interest, I take my Isomer Circle template. I also picked that up at Black Friday. And my Krink K75 paint marker, which I got in a recent ArtSnacks box. And I just put some newspaper down behind the page because I'm not sure how much bleed through there may be with the paint marker. It's an acrylic alcohol paint, and it's the first alcohol type paint that I've ever used before, so I just wasn't sure about it. And I'm new to this sketchbook as well. I thought it would be really flimsy paper when I first bought the sketchbook. I got this on sale as well during Black Friday. But in fact, the paper is actually pretty good quality. It's £75. It's maybe 2 or 3 times thicker than normal printer paper. And then after the K75 marker, I switched to some Amsterdam acrylic markers. This is a metallics 3-pack set, and you just shake them up like most paint markers. Then hold down the tip, you can see that here, for maybe 10 to 30 seconds until you start to see the paint flowing down the tip, and you can see it there. And if you're concerned about it, do that on a test piece of paper first, but I knew I was going to be covering the bulk of this little aardvark in shiny, shiny silver. I love shiny things, and these paint markers are really fun to explore, and it's helping me to keep these sketches loose and quick by just laying down a single block of color. I think this graphic style is really interesting to explore, and I've been following an artist on YouTube called B.W. Cummings for some time, and he often just uses the same simple materials to be able to do a sketch every single day. I'll link him with a card, and I'll put his YouTube page down below, but he's totally worth checking out. And then I switched to the deep gold color to add some contrast, and I'll finish up with some black ink lines, but this is a pretty simple, quick sketch, and I wanted it just to be that way and to see what I can develop by doing this kind of fast, looser sort of sketch style. I also didn't worry too much about precision with the sketch itself, but I think it was pretty accurate to my reference photo, and aardvarks are just a cute, weird shape anyway, so it doesn't matter if you don't get things perfect. Animals, they're a little bit more forgiving, far more forgiving than when you're doing a portrait of a person, except if you're doing a pet portrait. People will pay close attention to any little details for a pet portrait, but in general, for animal sketches, it's worth just practicing being looser and quicker and not worrying too much about being precise with proportions. And so when it comes to the black lines, you can see things are coming together, the contrast begins to pop, and this little aardvark gets some personality. I think he would be cool as a little logo or for some sort of sticker set maybe. And I just also go around the background circle to help that pop out as well. And then that's pretty much it for this quick introduction to my sketchbook. I just wanted something fast and graphic, so I'd just get into the sketchbook without worrying or stressing too much about what the end product would be. And I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I'll see you next time for another art adventure. Bye.